If you have been feeling a bit lost and you are uncertain about what is ahead for you, what the future is going to be looking like for you, then you are in the right place, because in this reading, we are going to be looking at what it is that you are currently dealing with and what it is that you can expect within the next 6 months. Now, I want to give a little shout out to the user Divine Angels who suggested this reading. So thank you so much for the topic suggestion. And as always, if you guys have any video ideas, any reading topics that you would like me to consider, then you can leave those in the comment section. But anyway, we have 3 piles to choose from in today's reading, and they go as such. This card represents pile number 1. This card represents pile number 2. And this card represents pile number 3. If you already know exactly which pile is yours, then you can go into the description box and click on the timestamp that you need. But if you are still unsure about how you should choose, then just a few suggestions that I have for you would be to first try and get yourself into a quiet place so that you wouldn't be distracted by loud noises or, just any sort of commotion around you. And you can also close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to really feel into your body and into this present moment. And when you look at these piles, just see what is coming up for you in your mind's eye. Is there any sort of sensation that you feel? Is there anything you hear? There are so many different ways that your intuition could speak to you. Maybe there is a specific color that pops out. Maybe there is a number. Maybe there is a keyword or a symbol. Anything like that could draw your intuition. And I always recommend listening to that intuition, but also please don't forget to use your discernment as you are listening to these general messages. And without further ado, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. My name is Helen and I am so excited to welcome you to this reading, and I'm so grateful that you are here. I also want to thank you for any positive, loving, supportive energy that you have shared with me and with my little channel. So thank you so much. But anyway, this is the card that you chose, and we also have some pre-prepared oracle cards as always. So we are going to look at those in just a bit, and we're going to start off with some intuitive messages that I feel from this card. Now, I have to say, it was the weirdest thing, and I don't think I have actually ever felt that, or maybe like a long time ago. But as I was getting ready, as I was setting everything up for this reading, I had all of the decks, all of the piles prepared. And when I just kind of swept my hand past this pile, I felt this really warm energy emanate from this pile specifically. None of the other piles really had any temperature to them. But this pile specifically felt warm, and I thought that was the strangest thing. So I felt like it was noteworthy. And looking at this card, which says Elixir of Life, it feels like there is something about you that is so full of vitality, so full of warmth. Clearly you are in a space right now, or your energy is vibrating very highly, or you are in this place where you are almost like this uplifting force for others. And I feel like you are trying your hardest to be very positive, to be kind of joyous and optimistic, and to look at life through gratitude and just being present and being grateful for what it is that you have. And it just seems to be this very beautiful high vibrational energy that you are in. It also seems like there could be something that has brought this energy out in you. So it's almost like, I don't know, maybe some of you have recently fallen in love, or maybe some of you have discovered some sort of passion or something that really excites you. Maybe there is a new idea that you are thinking about taking action on. It just seems like, just looking at this flower here too, it seems like something is blooming in your life, pile number 1. And it seems like it's bringing this loving and blossoming energy into you as well. It seems to be infectious. So yeah, and I don't know, if you haven't like discovered something like that yet, then I feel like you are about to discover something like that very, very soon. There is this feeling of like looking at life through rose-colored glasses, but not in like a bad or naive way. It's like you can just appreciate the simple joys and the simple beauty of it and just find fulfillment from being alive, like from the most sort of basic things in life. It seems to be a big source of joy for you right now. And again, I don't know what it is specifically that you have discovered, but it seems to be like you are kind of in your own little world, in your own little bubble. I'm even looking at like the face of this woman on this card and how like she has her eyes closed and she seems to be like completely oblivious to everything else that is happening around her. So she's just so in her own little world. And so yeah, it seems like you, pile number one, are in this space right now where you were kind of in your own little love bubble. And it doesn't have to mean that you are dealing with like a romantic type of love. This can be, you know, connecting with another human being on a very soulful level. So like making a new friend, or just discovering a kindred spirit of some kind, maybe like through work, maybe through a community, maybe through some sort of online forum or something like that. You know, I'll leave it up to you to put the details in place, but it just seems like there is something that is making you this sort of blissed out, if I can say it like that. Yeah, so that is kind of what is coming through. Oh, also, just a quick little note, the number is 15, and that just caught my attention, and 1 + 5 equals 6. So we get the energy of the lovers. And so that sort of kind of nicely matches this energy that is coming through here. But anyway, as I said, this is just the intuitive part. So if you are still kind of unsure whether this is your reading or not, then stay tuned for this next oracle card part, because we're going to look at what it is that you're currently dealing with. So let's see what sort of energy you are in. We have some intuitive cards. We have Capricorn. Oh my goodness. We have Beloved, Radical Acceptance. I'm just laughing to myself because I think like in this oracle deck, this card is like one of the few, if not the only ones that actually talks about love or something like that, or the heart being sort of significant. Oh, interesting. We also have Aries, and we have this little unicorn. Okay. So as I said, pile number one, it was coming through so strongly that something has sparked this force of life within you, and that is very clearly coming through these cards as well. So starting off with the very first card, this is talking about direction or navigation, looking at the possibilities ahead of you and just sort of going about choosing what the best path for you would be. So right next to this Capricorn energy, I find it very interesting that there is this energy of ambition coming through. Now, it looks like whatever this thing is that has, you know, created this passion in you, and with both of these cards, because the Capricornian archetype is also very much focused on like achievement and reaching higher heights and like doing something to express yourself, either like creatively or just like to get something out into the material world, because we're dealing with the Saturnian element here. Oh, not the element, sorry, but the Saturnian energy. So it's clear that there is something that you are trying to like bring about or like materialize in a more physical sense, give form to something. But with this first card, it seems like there could still be very many possibilities that you are considering. So maybe you haven't actually jumped in quite yet, but you are still sort of making plans. You are still strategizing. You are still thinking things through and trying to find the best path forward. Now, it seems like for some of you, this could have to do with like a passion project. This could have to do with like a personal business that you may be trying to launch, or some sort of project or product that you are starting, like that you're wanting to get off the ground. maybe there is some sort of like soul calling that you have heard and that you want to turn into some sort of physical profession or something like that, like something that you would be able to do on the daily, right? Something that would become a part of your routine, a part of your sort of life, or become your lifestyle even, I want to say, for some reason. So yeah, that is definitely the case for some of you. But I also feel with this beloved and radical acceptance, this feels like unconditional love to me, or just something that is like so pure. It's almost like you don't, it's like you don't even see any flaws, or you don't even see any potential pitfalls or anything like that. You know, again, if this is talking about like a career thing or a project or something that you're trying to do, then it could be that you are so kind of consumed by the passion of it, by the possibility of it, by how like excited it makes you feel, by how it like lights you up with actual life energy, so that you don't even really think about how things could potentially go wrong, or how it couldn't, how should I say it? How maybe like things could turn out not how you wanted them to, or how maybe you could fail, or, you know, it seems like you're not really even considering those aspects. And again, I'm not saying that you are being like naive or oblivious or something like that. It's just that you are not allowing fear or doubt to creep in, because this level of passion and fierce motivation is just so much bigger. And that seems to be like the over encompassing thing here. And again, if this is talking about like an actual budding relationship, or some sort of like connection that you have established recently, then it just seems like you are so kind of focused on the person's assets, their strengths, everything that is like unique and special about them. And it's kind of like you are able to look past what their flaws are, what their imperfections are, what their little quirks are, you know? So again, I don't feel this energy of you being like blinded by something, or you being naively like overlooking things. I don't feel that, especially because we have this Capricorn energy here, and Capricorn, like, you can't really fool a Capricornian archetype energy, because like they are just so grounded and down to earth that they know what's going on. So I'm not really worried about you being bamboozled here. I don't know why I couldn't think of a better word. So anyway, moving on, we also have this Aries energy. And as I'm filming this right now, we are in Aries energy currently, but obviously this is a timeless reading. So whenever you happen to see it, doesn't really matter when you happen to see it. But this Aries energy, again, is making me think of this like new and exciting and really like full of life energy that you are in. And again, something that you are potentially wanting to launch, or something that is at the very beginning stages of it, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. They are the initiators, they are the beginners, they are the ones to like forge a path ahead and kind of jump into something new. But also Capricorn, you know, we are dealing with cardinal energy. Both of these signs are cardinal signs, and they are the ones to like initiate things, or to like segue into a new era. And also with the last card here, not to get overly repetitive, but this is just making me think of, again, this like magical energy of like possibility, of potentially seeing things in like a very optimistic, like there is nothing that I can't do. There is nothing that I can't overcome. It's just so full of self-belief and trust, and like not in just yourself, but I also feel like in the universe of how things could work out for the best. So yeah, I don't know. All of this looks very, very positive and very, again, very like full of beautiful, vibrant energy. But it could be because it's just the sort of the beginning stages of things that you could be wondering like what is going to happen in the future, how this thing is going to progress down the line. And so maybe that's why you are watching this reading right now, because looking at these cards and just feeling this energy, I don't really feel that you are like lost or confused or worried about the future or things like that. That's not really the energy that is coming through. I'm just gonna leave it here. If you resonated with this part, pile number 1, then definitely stay tuned and keep on watching, because we're going to look at some tea leaf oracle cards now. And these cards are going to tell us the most significant themes and keywords that are going to be coming up for you within the next 6 months. So what is it that you can expect? This is the juicy part now. So we're going to see what the next 6 months has in store for you. Okay, so wow. Okay, let me try and get these cards. Oh, wow. Okay, these two came out together like so. Interesting. And let me just grab the last card. And the card that flew out on the floor, we also got now. Okay. So let me try and move those around so that you could see them better. Okay, so you got this broom card, which says new home, new attitude. And clearly there is going to be some sort of new development that can be tied to your living space or your living arrangement, your living situation. Some of you guys could be moving. Some of you could be just like renovating or upgrading your home, your living area somehow. Some of you could be, with this new home, it could be not like in a literal sense, but some of you could actually be like upgrading yourself. So the new home could talk about your physical vessel, your body. And yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but just like upgrading yourself somehow, going through some sort of physical transformations, or just working on like your self-image, working on your self-expression, and just doing this like self-development thing. And that is possibly what may also bring about this new attitude, where you actually feel better about yourself, where you feel more confident, where you feel more sort of ready to be seen, ready to shine. But it just seems like you are clearing some old energy out and making space for new things. Some of you could actually be moving in with someone. So you could be moving together with a significant other if you are in a relationship, or again, if you are sort of just in the beginning stages of some sort of connection. It could be that you like end up moving together with that person, or maybe if it's not talking about like a literal move-in, then it could be that you are like upgrading the relationship or taking things to the next level, getting a bit more serious with that person within the next 6 months. We also have haystack, karma, you will reap what you have sown. Now, because karma is not essentially like a negative word, although I feel like a lot of the times people talk about karma as if it were a bad thing. Or as if it meant like some sort of retribution or like a revenge or something like that. It's actually like a neutral expression, right? So it can be good karma, it can be bad karma. But with this haystack, I just feel like you are going to be, because we have so many positive cards here, I feel like this is going to be some sort of like positive reward for something that you have already done in the past. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel like this is talking about bad karma for you, pile number 1. So you could see within the next 6 months, you could see certain rewards or certain windfalls, I want to say, something positive coming out of something that you have already done in the past. Maybe some of you have even like forgotten about what that thing is. Maybe you, I don't know, maybe you applied somewhere, maybe you took part in some sort of like competition or something like that, and then you kind of like forgot about it, and maybe that like comes in within the next 6 months, or you hear back regarding that thing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of you have like done a good deed or something within the, like in the past, in the recent past, and now it's like coming back to you in a very positive way. How like someone may just maybe just very generous to you, or they may gift you something or something like that. Okay, we also have hills with obstacles to overcome. So yeah, clearly, whatever this thing is that you are thinking of beginning or that you are so excited about right now, clearly, you know, it's not going to be a walk in the park and just like all uphill from, sorry, downhill. No, what's the expression? You know, if like uphill, but uphill sounds like difficult. So, but downhill sounds bad, right? So I don't know what the expression is here, but you know, it's like, it's not going to be this smooth sailing because life is just not like that, right? We always have certain tests and challenges and things where we can like grow and learn. So it's, again, I don't feel like it's something that is going to be insurmountable because obviously like looking at these hills as well, they are kind of like small or they are not very steep, right? They're not very high. So it's like you can easily overcome them. And I feel like that's the case here too, that there may be certain like tests or sort of trials that you're going to be faced with within the next 6 months. Especially I feel like regarding whatever this thing is that you are launching or trying to get off the ground. So maybe there are certain like delays, maybe there are certain miscommunications or misunderstandings. Maybe there are certain like disappointments where things just don't turn out the way that you had envisioned. But I feel like there is always an alternative route or some way around the situation. And it just requires you to be like crafty, to be quick on your feet and adaptable and imaginative. And I feel like you kind of have that within you, like you have those types of resources. Now we also have the month October that came out that is clearly going to be a very significant month for you. Now, again, as I'm filming this, if you are watching this right now, October is going to be like at the very end of this 6-month window. But so, you know, it could be something that is still ahead, but maybe if you are watching this and October has just passed, then this could indicate that something that you did in October is going to somehow be important within the next 6 months. So there's going to be something that comes up or comes about from something that happened or transpired in October. So, you know, especially with this karma card, if October is already in the past for you and it's not going to be coming up within the next 6 months, then this can be talking about that karma, right? That positive karma that you are reaping from something that you did in October or something that happened. But if October is still ahead for you, then I feel like it's just going to be one of those more significant months where maybe a lot of things happen, where it may be more of a busy month. It may be more of a significant month in the sense that something like memorable takes place, or there could be like a milestone that you reach in October. Yeah, so that's what I'm feeling there. We also have this love, which is just a general sort of theme card. And so clearly, again, we're getting so much energy of like love coming through. Again, not specifically romantic love, but just love in general. And so I feel like within the next 6 months, you are going to feel a deep sense of love for someone. But I also feel like you are going to be feeling that you are loved as well, or that you are held, even if it's not talking about a relationship specifically or a specific person for you, then I just feel like you are going to feel loved by the universe, by your spirit, by God, by your ancestors, your higher self, whoever you resonate with. It's just this feeling of like, again, this feeling of bliss, this feeling of being seen and appreciated. And I feel like you are going to be exuding a lot of love as well within that 6-month period. Now, again, we have this card June that came out together with this goldfish card, which says increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. And again, the same thing. So if June is still coming as you are watching this reading, if it's still coming within the next 6 months, then June is most likely going to be a very significant month for you, especially where you may experience some sort of material growth or some sort of positive, like monetary income, some sort of increase financially. But if June has just passed, then it could be that again, something that you did in June, something that you potentially started or some sort of seed that you planted could bring about like material gains within the next 6 months for you. Yeah, so I just feel like this is talking about some sort of lucky break or some sort of just some sort of positive influx. I don't think that it is going to be like this huge big thing. With this goldfish, I feel like it's just going to potentially be something small, but something that you're still going to appreciate, something that is going to make you happy, and something that is very much like needed, or you could use whatever this sort of positive income is, or a positive material gain. But yeah, so those were the most important, significant keywords and themes that we got for you, pile number 1. And now let's get into the tarot portion and dig a bit deeper. So it's going to be especially interesting now to see what we get for the first question that we are going to ask, because of this obstacles to overcome card that you got here. So we are going to be looking at any sort of challenges that you should be aware of. So hopefully we will get some more information about what sort of challenges or obstacles you are going to be faced with. So let's see what we have. Okay, interesting. So we have the 8 of Coins coming out. We have the King of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, with the 5 of Wands being the underlying energy here. So I actually want to start off with the underlying energy, because the 5 of Wands is making me think of the thing that I said with this Hills card. I think I mentioned something about like possible miscommunications or misunderstandings, because that's kind of what I feel with this 5 of Wands underlying energy here, that these obstacles that you are going to be facing are just about like having different or opposing points of view and finding it very difficult to like agree on a certain course of action, you know? So it just feels like there is going to be difficulty in like getting to a compromise or getting to agree on something. And especially I feel like it's something related to how something should be done, because we have this earth element that is coming through very strongly. By the way, just for like zodiacal sign references, in case you recognize these zodiac signs within yourself or around you, we have a heavy earth sign energy, as I said. So we have Virgo and Capricorn and Taurus coming through. But with the King of Swords, there is also heavy Aquarian energy coming through, especially with the 8 of Pentacles. It feels like there is something that you are like working on, developing, trying to again like take to the next level or advance somehow. And it feels like the way that you are doing it, or the way that you want to do it, is going to clash with the way that someone else thinks that you should do it. So with the King of Swords, I feel like this is someone else's energy outside of you. They don't have to be male specifically, but it's coming through as very heavy masculine energy. They could be this other person that you are with, if this is a relationship scenario for you. They could be like a boss or a supervisor, or just your colleague if this is a work situation for you. This could be, again, your friend or your relative, or you know, whoever it is that you are tied to, if this is some sort of like, again, just like a connection thing for you, like a platonic connection thing. It just seems like this King of Swords, who, by the way, has more of this like rational, practical energy about them. They may be a bit more like reserved. They may be a bit more cautious and just like thinking things through very carefully, but also they seem to have like very fixed principles about how they believe that some things should be done and what their values are and things like that. I kind of feel like old school energy from this person. Like they may see things from like a very traditional point of view, or they may be living their life according to how they were raised, and so be like somewhat somewhat fixed or rigid when it comes to that. And so it seems like with this Page of Pentacles that like this solution or this idea or this method of doing something or growing something or taking things to the next level, like venturing out of the sort of the status quo somehow, that seems to be where you are differing in your views. And so yeah, with this King of Swords, it just feels like there may be difficulty in getting this person to like agree with you or to see your side of things and like why you want to do something a certain way, or maybe even you may have a difficult time convincing them to try something new with you, because the Page of Pentacles can also talk about just like learning something new, trying something new, giving something, like doing something actually tangible or physical. And maybe this King of Swords person is doesn't feel like confident within themselves, or they have very many doubts or very many fears about like how things could go wrong. So again, it seems to almost be like this clash of this person being very like rational and sort of seeing things from a very like logical and cerebral way, and then you being just like so motivated and driven by this belief and by this energy and this force of life that you have within yourself. So it's almost like a clash of like fire and air, you know? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems to be that you were coming from like different places, but ultimately I feel like, you know, you both kind of want the same thing. So as I said, it seems like there is a way around this. There is a way for you to come about with, or come to some sort of like mutual understanding or something like that. But it may just require like both of you to let go of what your sort of initial ideas or methods are and come up with like a completely new solution that both of you could finally agree on. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel like here, that it's just mostly about figuring out this way of going about a situation, or making some sort of plan materialize. But anyway, nothing too serious, I feel like, pile number one. So let's look at any positive surprises that you can expect within the next 6 months. Oh. Okay, interesting. So we have the Lovers and the Fool. Oh, I love this. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Pentacles that came out in reverse. So again, some of the signs, we have heavy Gemini coming through now with the Lovers. We have heavy Aries or Aquarius coming through with the Fool. And yeah, some more earth sign energy with the Seven of Pentacles, specifically Taurus. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. It just seems like some of you out there, if you are interested in that kind of thing, it seems like some of you could be meeting like a very significant person within the next 6 months. So, you know, it most likely is talking about the sort of people who are not in, you know, who are not in this budding relationship right now. If you are focused on like other things, then it feels like within the next 6 months, you could meet someone who ends up being very, very significant somehow, because we're dealing with both major arcana cards. So this positive surprise is definitely going to like increase the sense of like elevation and optimism and possibility within you, because both of these cards are coming out upright, and especially with the Fool here too, it's very much mirroring the energy that I was feeling from the significator card that you chose. So it seems like there is going to be a potential like meeting or coming together of like you and someone else who is like a kindred spirit to you, or a kindred soul or something like that. Someone who like makes you feel more alive, and someone who makes you feel like there are endless possibilities in life or something like that. Just a very like positive and uplifting energy. Again, you know, if you are not interested in romantic love, then it could just be that you make a very significant connection with a friend, or with like, you make an acquaintance who ends up being significant somehow down the line. And you may like join forces in either like a business sense, or yeah, just doing like exciting or fun things together. We have the Seven of Coins that is coming out in reverse at the bottom of the deck. And I'm actually going to show it to you upright, you know, so you can see the illustration better. But I do feel like this is something that you have been waiting for, and now something is going to be like coming about for you, because the Seven of Pentacles, if it's coming out upright, it's talking about like patience and persistence and just like having to wait for certain results to come around. And it usually indicates that you know, it may take a while, but when it comes out in reverse, it feels like things are finally starting to materialize, things that you have been, again, like working on or working towards. But if this is not talking about a relationship for you, then I just feel like this positive surprise is, again, like you taking some very significant connection or very significant sort of passion that you have. Again, it doesn't have to be a person. You can have intense passion or excitement towards something that you are doing. And it seems to be that you are taking it somehow to the next level with this Fool card. So there could be potential like new opportunities that are opening up for you. Maybe someone, I don't know, for some reason I just heard like travel. So maybe you are invited to travel with someone, or maybe there is a possibility opening up for you to travel to some like foreign countries or new places that you haven't been to before regarding whatever this thing is that you are wanting to launch or wanting to begin. And it also feels like, you know, if this is talking about some sort of like creative project or some sort of business thing for you, then it feels like you could be meeting like significant people with the Lover's energy who are very much attached to what it is that you do, or who feel a very strong emotional bond to what it is that you do. And so it's almost like you could be starting to build this like community or this following, that is going to be like uplifting and supporting you and encouraging you to like expand even more or to try even more new things. And like, it's just really, really positive. So as I said, we had this love card here too, remember? So clearly the energy of love, of being seen, of being appreciated for who you are and being accepted for who you are, even celebrated, I just heard, celebrated for who you are. It feels like that is going to be a very significant sort of positive thing that you experience in the next 6 months. So okay, let's keep going. And as the last question that I want to look at with these tarot cards, we are going to see what is the most important advice that Spirit has for you for your highest good for this next 6-month period. Okay. Interesting. So we have the Strength card and we have the Ace of Wands that came out in reverse. And sorry, these cards are super slippery. And we have the King of Coins that came out at the bottom of the deck. So again, sign-wise, we have Leo coming through with Strength. We have more fire sign energy. So again, Aries could be very significant because we've seen Aries quite a bit. And we also have more Taurus coming through with the King of Coins. Okay, so I feel like, again, I want to start off with the underlying energy because I actually feel like this energy is talking about you. Again, we're dealing with King energy and we're not talking about gender, so don't get stuck on that. But with the King of Pentacles, I just feel like persistence and perseverance are very, very strong keywords here. I feel like Spirit is asking you to stay on task, to stay determined, and to just keep on working regarding whatever this thing is, to keep showing up, to keep putting in the energy, the effort, to keep that fire burning, because we also have Strength and we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So very fiery energy coming through. And again, it feels like Spirit is asking you to keep that fire burning, especially with Strength, especially when you are dealing with certain situations that do either test your resolve, that test your patience, that test your resilience, especially with the Ace of Wands in reverse. There could be times where you can feel that sort of motivation starting to go or starting to lose its momentum. Again, especially if something doesn't work out the way that you expected it to, if something causes a bit of delays or causes a bit of like frustration or maybe even certain like rejections or things that you weren't expecting. It just feels with this Ace of Wands in reverse that there could be instances where your sort of motivation and excitement are drowned out a bit. But with Strength, obviously this is talking about you having the necessary skills, the necessary resolve. You have what you need within you to keep going, to push through those times when you are being tested. And yeah, as advice, it's just asking you to believe in yourself, that you are strong enough to face whatever these tests or challenges are, and that they are not indications of you needing to stop or needing to not keep going or to give up, right? If things get difficult, it doesn't mean that you are not supposed to do them, right? So I feel like that's really what the message here is. And finally, I know this is a longer one, and I'm sorry, pile number 1, if this is getting a bit too lengthy now, but we are about to wrap this reading up, I promise. Let's get a last oracle card message, which is just this loving support from Spirit for you for your whole reading. So let's see what they have to say. Whoa. Okay. So the card that you got is the wishing tree. My wishes grow big like a tree. I love it because I feel like Spirit is actually saying that what you are wishing for can actually manifest. It can actually come to life. And they can grow into things beyond your wildest imagination. I feel like you can have more success than you realize right now, pile number 1. So it feels like whatever this spark is, whatever this drive or motivation is, it's something that is meant to develop in like several different stages and take you to some completely unimaginable places. Yeah, it just seems like you are in a very magical energy in general. And it's no coincidence that you are feeling this level of excitement, that you are feeling this spark of joy or this spark of life, this passion, right? It's within you for a reason, and you are meant to pursue it. You are meant to do something with it, right? And yeah, as I said, it just feels like you are in a much more magical energy than you realize. So you can create so much more than you think that you can with this energy, with what it is that you are doing. At the bottom of the deck, we have happy sleep pillow. I sleep well and have good dreams. So I just feel like this is kind of a friendly reminder to not forget about like good sleep and to take care of yourself, because especially if we are excited about something, especially if we feel this pull to like go out there and do something, we need to get that excitement out. That's a beautiful and magical feeling, but at the same time, it can get a bit like, draining as well. And it can really eat away from our like sleep time. That was not a very nice sentence just now, but anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I feel like paying attention to getting enough sleep, to resting and taking time to recuperate and just recharge your batteries and just taking care of yourself in general, I feel like is a very important message here, because yeah, it's kind of easy to go over the top with doing all of the things that make us feel this excited, right? But anyway, I am going to leave it here, pile number 1. I am so grateful that you watched this reading, and I hope it was insightful, useful, or at the very least, entertaining for you to watch. And as always, you guys know, if you are not new on this channel, you already know that I love doing this little thing with you. I love seeing all of you in the comment section. So if you are still here, if you're watching this reading right now, then I know that you are the OG Soul Tribe family member, and I know that you're the real deal. So leave me a little broom in the comment section, little broom emoji, so I know that you are still here, that you are still watching, that you watched this all the way through, and that, yeah, you are one of the real gems. So thank you so much, by the way, if you are still here. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you. So thank you, and I hope to see you back on this channel very, very soon, and I wish you the most amazing next 6 months. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. My name is Helen, and I am so grateful that you are watching this reading right now. So thank you so much for being here. And of course, thank you for all of the positive feedback, for the likes, the subscribes, the comments, everything that you have shown to me and this little channel as support. I really truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But anyway, let's get into the cards. So you chose this Change of Seasons card, and we also have some pre-prepared oracle cards. Again, if you're not new on this channel, you already know that's what we do. But we're going to look at those in just a bit, because starting off, I want to look at this card and feel my way through intuitively. So pile number 2, with the change of seasons, I definitely get this sense that you are letting something go in your life right now. You could be shedding quite a lot. That could be specifically certain relationships that don't serve you. Those could be certain activities, certain habits that you don't resonate with anymore. Maybe there are certain interests that, again, don't interest you anymore. It just feels like you are trying to turn over a new leaf, and specifically focusing on like purging something out of your life, or getting rid of things and creating firmer boundaries so that you wouldn't be cluttered by things that are not in alignment with you. And again, like those could be certain things. So, you know, you could be clearing out like your living space. Those could be things as in like, again, activities or certain things, you know, things like, I don't know, maybe you used to go out partying with your friends quite a bit, and maybe you used to have a bit too much to drink every now and then, but maybe you don't feel like doing that anymore. Maybe it doesn't really speak to you anymore. Maybe you are tired, and maybe it's not fun for you anymore, so you don't really do that anymore. You don't really go out that much anymore, or you sort of are transmuting the sort of things that you do for fun, right? Maybe you are now more into cultural activities and going to the theater, or going to the cinema, or taking a painting class with your friends, or I don't know. You know, I'm just giving you these like examples, just random examples to illustrate the point. You know, it just seems like you have outgrown certain things, and you are in this very like transformational point in your time, in your life. Maybe some of you are actually, you know, if you're familiar with astrology, maybe some of you are going through your Saturn return. So you could be around like, I don't know, 27, 28 to 30 years old. And maybe you are switching from being like this younger, you know, this more sort of carefree, youthful, straight out of school or college or something like that. And maybe you are now moving towards like true adulthood and true independence. So you could be in that like pivotal time, or maybe some of you have previously been in this role of like a mother and a partner or something like that. And maybe now you are switching from like that period of life to, you know, reaching more of a mature space in time now. And maybe you are more focused on yourself, or maybe you are preparing for retirement or something like that. Again, I'm just giving you examples. I'm not saying that that's how it should be, but it seems like you are switching from one like season of your life to the other. And it seems like that involves a lot of letting go of things that you no longer resonate with, or that you don't feel attached to anymore. And maybe some of these things, again, you know, some of these could be habits or things that you used to do quite a lot, and maybe you don't really feel like doing them anymore. Maybe some of these are, again, people that you have kind of outgrown, or that you have like grown apart from. It feels like some of those things could be things that played a very significant part in your life for a long time, but now they are just not the right match for you anymore, you know? So I don't know, that's what I'm feeling, pile number 2. And I do have to say, there is a little bit of a sense of melancholy here too. It doesn't seem like it's necessarily an easy thing for you to go through, or an easy process to leave things behind. But at the same time, it seems like there is no other option for you either. It's like, it's a non-negotiable. It's something that you feel that you need to do, something that you feel that you have to do. But anyway, that is just the intuitive part. Let's look at the oracle cards as well to get a better understanding of what it is that you're currently dealing with. So hopefully, if this part was a bit confusing for you, or you are still a bit iffy, then these cards hopefully should make it easier for you to recognize yourself. Okay, yeah, we have some intuitive cards, and this is talking about relationships. And just as I said that, we also have Eros. We have Netcaster, preparations come to fruition. Oh, and interesting. We have number 42. Was it 42? Yeah. 42 over here on this card. And we also have number 42 on this only card in the Oracle cards section that actually has a number. So the number 42 could be significant. Maybe you are 42 years old. Maybe the number 4 and 2 are significant in the sense that maybe you have a birthday on the 2nd of April or the 4th of February. Or maybe this is, maybe this is again talking about like the lover's energy as well, because 4 + 2 is 6. So maybe number 6 is significant to you, or like the lover's energy of you having been attached to something and then possibly like distancing yourself from that. Anyway, we also have the 4th house and we have the whale. Okay. Yeah, so pile number 2, for a lot of you, there is definitely a relationship component here, and especially of like the more committed, the more romantic nature, because of this Eros card specifically, but also because of the first card here. So yeah, actually, let's just get into it. So with both of these cards, it's clear that at the forefront, you are dealing with very significant relationships in your life. And, yes, I am feeling very strongly that for some of you, this could be a husband or wife. For some of you, this could be like a boyfriend-girlfriend type situation, or just the partner that you are living with. But for others of you, this can be, just again, certain relationships that you feel a lot of attachment to. So, people who are nearest and dearest to you, people who you have very strong bonds with. Because, that's really what this Eros card is talking about. It's talking about like specifically romantic love, but, if we kind of generalize it a bit, then it's just, again, about things that you either felt a really strong connection to, or that used to mean a lot to you at one point in time. And it just seems like there is something changing about the way that you resonate with certain things, again, certain people, certain beliefs, certain values. It seems like those types of things are shifting for you. And I don't know why, but this is probably the first time that I'm ever looking at this card and noticing the space between these two figures. So it almost seems like there's a growing distance here, or like you are pulling away from something that, again, used to like complement you very well, or something that used to play a big part in your life. But now it seems like the majority of this thing is focused on like your differences, and that's like really all you can see is just how different you are and how much you have grown apart. Or it just seems like you are seeing how something doesn't really fit you anymore. So it's like the way that you resonate with something or someone, that seems to be where the majority of this change is happening for you. So just as a more of a specific message here, like some of you could actually be going through a divorce, you could be finalizing a divorce, especially because like just looking at the next card here, which says preparations come to fruition. Some of you definitely could be going through that because of this energy of like having worked on something, or something already being in the works, and now like finally getting to what it is that you have been putting a lot of energy or focus into. But I also feel like some of you, if this is not talking about necessarily growing apart from your partner, or going through like a breakup or a divorce or something like that, it could just be that you are sort of changing the way that that your relationship is. Maybe some of you are actually like pregnant or planning to have a child. So that is obviously going to change your dynamic, your whole relationship. Maybe some of you are already at a stage where your children have grown up and they are now either leaving the nest, or they have already left the nest, and now you are maybe considering like moving to a smaller place, or like changing something around in your house, making room for yourselves more. If you had like your kids' rooms, and maybe as they have moved out, you don't really need to keep those rooms as your kids' rooms anymore. So maybe you are repurposing them somehow. You know, I'm just, again, giving you examples, but it feels like there is some sort of shift or change in that regard. So yeah, I just feel most strongly with this card here that really you are sort of going through like the thick of it. It doesn't feel like you are necessarily preparing for things anymore, preparing for these shifts and changes. It feels like you are actually experiencing the way that something is departing from your life now, or how you are creating space for new things. So hopefully, you know, that makes sense. We also have the 4th house here. So as I said, you know, for some of you, this could have to do with like changing something about your living situation. And especially when it comes to you and someone else living together, this could be where this change is happening as well. Again, if you yourself are going through this like maturation process or getting into this new season of life for yourself, maybe you are the one who is actually moving out of your home, right? Of your parents' home. And maybe that's why this 4th house is here. But it definitely seems like something to do with how you have always like done things, what you know, what is the sort of the norm or the usual for you, where you come from, your background, and again, just your day-to-day living area in general. Those areas seem to be where you are making these changes right now. And finally, we have this Whale card. And again, for some reason, I'm just feeling like, first off, there seems to be this purging as this whale is like breathing out, right? Like that's what it's doing. I hope. I'm not an expert on like how the whales work anatomically. So, you know, if that wasn't the right thing to say, then, you know, sorry. But it just feels, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like a sense of purging with this image, but also with this whale energy. I just feel like there is so much like wisdom and getting deeper into true knowing or into some sort of like life experience now. So again, I just feel maturation with this Whale card too, where you are making space for this new season of your life. So I don't want to keep repeating myself too much, so I'm just going to leave it here, and hopefully something resonated for you. If you recognized yourself within these cards, then most likely this is your reading. And let's move on to the most exciting part now. So let's see what is ahead for you in the next 6 months. We're going to use the Tea Leaf Oracle cards to get the most significant themes and keywords for you for the next 6 months. Okay, so we had these 2 cards that came out together, these 2 cards that came out together, and these 2 cards that came out together. Okay, so pile number 2, one thing I can say is that it definitely seems like the next 6 months are going to be heavily focused on relationships, or relationships are going to be very significant for you in the next 6 months. And again, not talking about specifically romantic relationships, but relationships of every kind. Now, we have this elephant and this tulip card that came out together as the first cards. And this says, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end, and great passion. So what I'm feeling here is that some of you could actually be taking a trip within the next 6 months that is somehow like either going to give you a whole new perspective on something. So some of you could be going on like a spiritual trek or something like that. Some of you could be going on holiday on some sort of trip that changes the way that you see something, or like gives you this like breakthrough moment somehow. Maybe some of you are just traveling for work or regarding your career or something. Maybe you are thinking of taking a course or going on some sort of training thing. But with tulip, it feels like it's something that truly like excites you. So it could be that you are traveling somewhere that maybe you have always wanted to go or something like that. Maybe you already have a trip planned within the next 6 months that you have been very much waiting for. I also feel like some of you could be doing something. If you're not like physically traveling, then it just seems like within the next 6 months you are going to be going through some sort of like educational pursuit, possibly, or something that like teaches you a lot. Yeah, something where you are like growing or finding out new information. We also have this owl, which says good advice from a wise person. And for some reason I was feeling like an energy of like a therapist or something like that. So I don't know, maybe some of you are going to be seeing a therapist within the next 6 months, or, you know, starting therapy or starting some sort of, I don't know, maybe you are starting a yoga class, maybe you are taking a mentor, maybe you are hiring a life coach, maybe you are joining a class of some kind that takes you into contact with someone who can give you very useful advice. It just feels like there is someone going to be or is going to play a very supportive role for you within the next 6 months. And I feel like it's something significant. It's either going to help you through like some sort of a more of an emotionally challenging time, or they are just going to give you like really good advice, or their perspective is going to help you to make the right choices for you, something like that. Now we also have a sincere wish will be granted and someone is behaving stupidly. So see, I feel like there is going to be something that you are seeing, something that again is kind of like a positive turnaround, or something that you like obviously have been wishing for, right? Like this card says. But I feel with this next card that, you know, you could be experiencing a bit of like jealousy or backlash. So again, it feels like, as I said, it feels like relationships are going to be such a big part for you in the next 6 months. And I feel like someone is going to be sort of showing you their true colors, or the way that someone is going to react to some sort of good news that you either get, or some sort of positive experience that you have. And I feel like someone you know is just going to act really strangely about it, or they're going to be triggered by it somehow. And it just feels like petty or jealous or childish or something like that. I feel like you may see someone in a whole new light within the next 6 months. And maybe this person is someone that you didn't even expect to see in that light or to be that way. But it could be that you, like, I don't know, you could be like distancing yourself from this person as a result of this situation. But I just love that we get this needle and thread, because obviously it feels like something that you have been hoping for is going to be coming about, and that is always a nice message to hear. But also, you know, it could have to do with a specific person that maybe you have been hoping, like this may be more of a specific message, but for some of you, if you have had a difficult relationship with someone, like if it's a family member or a relative or just a good friend of yours, and if they have been like maybe not doing the best things, or if they have been doing stuff that is detrimental to them, right? And you have just had to like sit by and look at them do those silly things, right? Maybe you have wanted them to finally realize that what they are doing is not good for them, that what they are doing is something that they should stop or something that they should change, but maybe they just hadn't, like previously, maybe they didn't really listen to you. And so within the next 6 months, you could see a sort of shift in that, or like a positive turnaround where they finally understand how dumb they have been, or how they haven't really been acting in the best way. So that is, I don't know, maybe more of a specific message, but I feel like someone out there needs to hear this. And finally, we have advice from a friend and romances in the air. So, you know, it just seems like for some of you, there is definitely, especially if you are moving through like a transitional period, as I said, for some of you, you are transitioning from being single to being in a relationship. Because clearly there could be a friend or someone you know, some sort of acquaintance that you could end up getting a lot closer with, or that could become a very significant person to you. So again, you know, if we don't get stuck in the word romance, then it can just be that someone that you know is going to become an even better friend to you, or your relationship is going to deepen somehow. But I also feel like some of you, again, as further confirmation of like relationships being significant for you, it seems like there could be a lot of like other people's opinions regarding either your relationship or just your love life in general, or what you are doing with your love life or within your relationships. So it could be that someone is very vocal about that. And again, it's like you could see a shift in your friendship dynamic as a result of that, you know? So it's just, it feels like there is this, for some reason I'm feeling like boundary setting again with this last part, you know, that someone could be having lots of opinions about what you should do or what you shouldn't do. And maybe, you know, it's something that like causes you to draw more firm boundaries with that person so that they wouldn't like overstep, I feel. But yeah, it kind of looks like the majority of this 6-month period is so heavily focused around your connection to other people and the existing relationships and possibly new relationships coming into your life within that period. But it also makes a lot of sense because, as we said with the previous part of this reading, that clearly you are making space in your life and you are letting a lot of things go that don't serve you anymore. And so obviously, you know, there is always this balance in life. And so if you are clearing energy out, you are also attracting new energy to take its space. So that kind of seems almost like logical to me. But anyway, let's move on to the tarot card portion to get some more details to get even deeper into this next 6-month period. And starting off, let's look at any challenges that you should be aware of. Okay, interesting. That card was just poking out, so I felt like I had to get it. Okay, so very interesting. You got the Devil, you got the Queen of Pentacles, and you have the Seven of Pentacles as the underlying energy in reverse. So we have literally all earth energy coming out, and I'm going to point out some of the zodiac signs in case you resonate with them. Namely, with the Devil and the Queen of Coins, we have Capricorn coming through very heavily, so you may be resonating with that energy yourself, or maybe someone around you is a Capricorn or has significant Capricorn placements. And the Seven of Coins is more specifically Taurus energy, but just any earth sign could be significant, so Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Okay, so I feel like these two cards are talking about a specific person, because clearly this whole reading is all about you and other people in your life. Now, as I said, this person could have significant Capricorn placements, but even if they don't, it just feels like there is someone that could potentially be a bit of a bad influence on you, or they could just try and like manipulate you or influence you in a way that would maybe serve their own purposes more or their own needs more. So as I said, it feels like I was feeling that with this needle and thread and turkey, right? That something is happening for you that causes someone else to like act in a weird way or to react to that thing in a very strange way, right? So that they are going to be like showing you their true colors. And I feel a lot of like selfishness or greed with both of these cards for some reason. Even though the Queen of Pentacles is not coming out in reverse, it just feels self-serving. It feels like the kindness or the caring energy that they present is actually masking like this underlying need to benefit off of the situation somehow, or to control the situation in a way that would work in their favor. So yeah, and they don't have to be female, by the way. I just want to point that out. Even though we have this queen energy coming through, it's just energy, right? So don't get attached to this, like, don't get attached to the gender aspect, because yeah, we're just dealing with energies. But it feels like there is most likely within that next 6 months going to be this one person who is like going to be a bit of a challenging energy for you. Maybe they are also, because of this Devil card, maybe they are also someone who doesn't want you to let them go, who may have a difficult time accepting that you are drawing certain boundaries, or that you are trying to distance yourself from them and from their influence. So they could be trying to like sneak their way back and find different ways to still be a part of your life, or to still have a say in your life. And the reason why I feel like you could be pulling away from them is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. It seems like you are deciding to stop entertaining something, or to stop putting in effort and energy into something that maybe you used to put in quite a lot of energy and effort into. So this person may be someone who has been in your life for a very long time. They could be, again, they could even be a family member. So it could be difficult for you to like actually cut them out of your life, right? Maybe that's not possible, but it feels like, again, it feels like you are drawing certain boundaries, or you are making it a lot more clear that this person doesn't have access to you as easily as they maybe did before. And so that seems to be aggravating to this person, or they seem to not handle it very well, and they seem to want to like snake their way back into your life. And again, these cards are not coming out in reverse, or this Queen card is not coming out in reverse, so I don't feel like they are like an inherently bad person. I just feel like they are not very emotionally mature. They are not very self-aware, and they are also operating from this like shadowy ego space, and it feels like they just have a lot of work to do on themselves. And so they are not actually conscious of how they are possibly negatively impacting you with their energy, if that makes sense. And so honestly, that's really all I feel. I don't feel like you have any more like bigger challenges to deal with. Like again, this person could, because we're dealing with the earth element, right? And with Capricorn, specifically, this could be a person from your workplace. Maybe this is like a boss or a manager or a supervisor or something like that. So they could be the one who is causing trouble for you. But again, I don't feel like it's something that is going to be this like huge big thing. I feel like you're going to be able to handle it quite well. But yeah, it just feels like it's going to be a bit of a nuisance for you. And besides that, I feel like you're going to be okay, is what I want to say. But let's keep going. Let's look at the positive stuff. Let's look at any positive surprises that you can expect within the next 6 months. Okay, interesting. We're getting some repeat cards, so I don't know. I find it funny. Okay, so now we're getting the King of Coins, and we're also getting the Eight of Swords, with the Five of Wands being the underlying energy. With the King of... did I say Swords? I hope I said King of Coins, right? Anyway, with the King of Coins, we have Taurus coming through specifically, but again, earth signs in general could be prominent. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. With the Eight of Swords, we have specifically Gemini energy coming out. And with the Five of Wands, we have some Leo energy. So again, you know, if this is talking about a specific relationship for you, then it could be that within the next 6 months, there is going to be a positive surprise or a positive shift when it comes to your relationship with someone that has been possibly a bit stuck, or possibly like in a stagnant position. Maybe your connection or your relations have been strained, and it feels like you have, I want to say, plateaued, or like you have gotten stuck in some sort of a rut, or in some sort of a situation that you haven't been able to find a way out of. So it feels like you have just possibly left the energy as it is. And that's why I feel like, because we're looking at positive surprises, right? So with the Eight of Swords being here, I just feel like this energy of feeling like you don't know what to do about this situation, or you don't know what to do about this relationship, that is going to be shifting, and that there is going to be a positive way forward. Because with the Five of Wands, some of you could be hashing something out with a person that, again, maybe you haven't really talked to that much. Maybe, again, this could be talking about this like distancing that you are going through, especially if this King of Coins is like your significant other, or if this is talking about like your romantic partnership or committed relationship, then it could be that there is a there is a positive turn of events in the sense that you are finally able to like get something out in the open, to like express what needs to be expressed. Because with the Eight of Swords being there, it feels like there has been something that has not been said, or something that has been kept to yourselves. And so it's almost like made this relationship just like it's made it stuck, right? So it's like there is no way forward, or you don't really know how to overcome that. But with the Five of Wands, it feels like you are finally getting something out and expressing what needs to be expressed. And even though this is kind of a turbulent energy, so it may turn into some sort of a verbal conflict, or emotions could get quite heated, but at the same time I feel like it's something that is needed for the situation to progress or move forward or be able to work through. So maybe for some of you, you have even thought that there wasn't a way to fix things, or that like it's just kind of like the end of the road from here. But it feels like for some of you it doesn't have to be. And that's this energy of this like breakthrough, or this breaking down the barrier, is something that is going to allow you to finally move forward from whatever has been stagnating or holding this relationship prisoner, I even want to say. But if this is not talking about a relationship scenario for you, just to give you an alternative here too, it just seems like something, if this King of Coins could also be talking about your energy, pile number 2. So it just seems like there could be something that you haven't really known how to move past, especially maybe something to do with your money or your work situation, or how you live your life, or maybe even just like security, financial, or like your future security in general. Maybe there has been a lot of like unknowns, or a lot of doubt, and a lot of feelings of like not being able to see the way forward, or not feeling worthy of the things that you want, or something like that. And it seems like this state of mental confusion and oppression is going to be coming to an end. Maybe potentially because of, again, it could be that this King of Coins is also representing this person who is going to be giving you some good advice, who is maybe going to like give you a little bit of a kick in the butt with the Five of Wands here. So they may be a bit like blunt or overly straightforward with how they say it, but I feel like they're going to like almost like push you or force you out of this funk, so that you could make the necessary moves and do what needs to be done. So it definitely seems like you are going to be able to break out of a certain place of like stagnancy. In either case, whether this is a relationship or whether this is something that you are feeling stuck in yourself. And these could even just be your own thoughts, right? Like being stuck in your own head and having like doubts about yourself or doubts about your life. Let's look at the final question as well and see what is the most important advice that Spirit has for you for your highest good for this next 6 month period. Okay. Yeah, so, that is so interesting. We got the Nine of Swords because, again, I was feeling the Nine of Swords energy with the Eight of Swords here a bit. But anyway, we have the Nine of Swords, we have the Four of Coins, and we have the Magician, with the Six of Coins being the underlying energy, but it came out in reverse. So again, some of the signs coming out here with the Nine of Swords, we have more Gemini, and with Four of Coins and the Magician, we have more Earth energy, with the Six of Coins too, of course. So again, we have heavy Capricorn, we have Virgo with the Magician, and we have Taurus with the Six of Coins. But again, Gemini could also be significant with the Magician. So I just want to say that I feel like Spirit is advising you to be very, very mindful of how much you allow like these negative influences to get access to you. Because with the Four of Pentacles, I just feel like you really need to protect your energy, and you really need to protect your, again, your assets, what it is that you have, what sort of safe space you have created for yourself. Again, these could be like just thoughts within your own head, again, that get a bit suppressive, or that start like wearing down your confidence or something like that. But for some reason, I feel even more strongly that this is energy coming from outside of you, and that all of these relationships and all of these other people, that they may be the ones who are trying to, like, again, influence you somehow or change your mind about something. And I feel like it's so important for you to, again, like, create clear boundaries or to protect your energy. Because with the Magician here, it seems like you are in very much a period of time where you are creating your reality, where you are calling in and manifesting the sort of the next era of your life. And the more negative effects or influences you have around you, the more you can potentially unwillingly call them into your life as well. And I feel like that's not something that you want to do. You want to cleanse your space. You want to move on. You want to let that person go, or finally forget about them and forget about the past. And it seems like you just want this fresh new beginning, and you want to bring about more, again, like more magic, more joy, more fulfillment into your life. But yeah, it seems like there is a potential to be like negatively influenced by others. And so that's why I feel like it's so important to create those boundaries, because again, with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like there is a negative influence around you, or someone who is not like acting out of goodwill, or some sort of energy exchange that is not the best for you, right? As we were talking about with the Capricorn energy and with this devil energy and all of that. So, you know, just being mindful of that. And also this card is making me think of, like, this is mainly the energy that is making me think that this negativity is coming from around you and not necessarily from within you. But anyway, that is the most important advice that Spirit had for you. Hopefully it was useful. And as the last part of the reading, I promise we are closing things out now. I know this is a long one, but thank you so much if you're still here. As the last part of the reading, I just want to pull a quick little card from this Oracle deck to give a loving, supportive message from Spirit for you. So let's see what they have to say. Sorry, I'm just so excited for the underlying energy, because I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I swear to God, like sometimes the way that these cards interact and how everything like merges together is just, it's so wonderful. Oh my God, you have to be kidding me. This is way too perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you for these messages. I am loving the synchronicities. The card that you got is Create a Spiral. I am flowing with the seasons. See, like this is actually such a perfect message for you, pile number 2. As we were talking about you changing the seasons of your life and stepping into a new one, going through this transformation. So clearly Spirit is just wanting you to know that, you know, everything that you are going through, everything that is happening for a reason, and that you are meant to be going through this period of change. And this change of seasons is something that is just this pivotal point in your life right now, and to just embrace it. Right? And so I feel like it's again one of those things where Spirit is saying that, you know, especially with the underlying energy, which again is just way too perfect. I mean, we had leaves on this card and now we're getting leaves on this card. Spirit is saying that, you know, it's time to let the things that are leaving your life go, and to let them go in peace. Right? To not try and hold on to anything, because it's time for things to go. It's time for things to, you know, be cleared out. With let the leaves go, I can let go of what I no longer need. I mean, this is just so perfect. I am loving these messages for you, pile number 2. And I hope that these little confirmations were encouraging to you as well. You know, things that are leaving your life, just let them leave your life, because I feel like better things are coming. But pile number 2, thank you so much for watching this. I hope that you enjoyed these messages and that they were useful, insightful, or at the very least entertaining for you to watch. And as always, I love doing this. So if you are still here, leave me a little, let's see, so that I could recognize. Leave me a little whale emoji. Yeah, leave me a whale down in the comment section so that I would know that you are still here, that you watched this reading all the way through. It was a long ass reading, I know, but thank you so much for your patience and yeah, for just everything that you do and for sharing your beautiful energy here. I am so, so grateful. And I just love spotting you in the comment section and seeing who my true soul family members are here on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much. And I am wishing you the most magical and amazing next 6 months ahead. And I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. But in the meantime, please take care of yourselves and bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 3. My name is Helen and I am so, so excited that you are here watching this reading right now. So thank you so much for sharing your beautiful presence. And I also want to say thank you for all of the support that you have shown to me and this channel within the recent weeks and days. I am really, really grateful. So thank you. But let's get into the cards. So we have some pre-prepared oracle cards, which, you know, if you are not new on this channel, you already know that that's exactly what we do. And I want to start off with the card that you chose first to see what I'm picking up on it intuitively. So pile number 3, I feel like you could be kind of I don't want to say isolating yourself, but it just feels like you are keeping something very close to your chest for the time being. I almost want to say that, like, it's not that you are not sharing what it is that you are doing, or what it is that you are spending your time on, or what it is that you are planning. I feel like you are not completely keeping it a secret, but I just feel like you are keeping the level of it secret, or like the intensity of it secret. Because I'm looking at the little eggs that you can see on her head, right? That are very much visible and that are not necessarily shielded by anything. But there is this massive egg that is hidden in her skirts, right? So it feels like the magnitude of what it is that you are doing is actually so much bigger than what you are letting on, or what you are divulging to people. So it just feels like for some reason you are not really wanting to share the intricacies or the depth of something that you are doing or planning on doing. And I feel like it's tied to you feeling like, first of all, I feel like it's something very private to you or something very personal, but also I feel like it has so much significance to you. And it could also be, I just heard nest egg, so it could be something that has the potential to bring about like lots of financial rewards as well, or like significant income. Or it almost feels like it could be like this brilliant business idea, or something that hasn't maybe been created yet, or even if there is some sort of alternative on the market, someone who is already doing something similar. But I feel like how you see it, or your vision, is somehow so much more genius, or so much more effective. And so it feels like you have some sort of a breakthrough angle that you are keeping close to your chest. And so you are trying, I feel like you are working on something behind the scenes, and trying to like get it as sort of ready as possible before you actually launch it, so that no one could like steal your thunder, I want to say. And I mean, even though it feels like it could have a lot to do with something you are trying to do, like in a career sense, or for a job, right? Something that you are possibly intending to earn a livelihood from. It could also be something that is much more like tied to your personal life, so it doesn't have to necessarily be tied to your career in any way. But yeah, I just feel like there is this poker face, right? There is this poker face on this woman, and it seems like it's like you're just keeping your cards to your chest, and not really revealing too much. But I also feel like whatever this thing is, it's something that you have been working on for quite some time, and you have been putting in a lot of work, a lot of focus, and it seems to be close to being ready to be launched. Because it's like, again, the size of this egg, it's like it's so big that it feels like it's ready to hatch or something like that. And I also just feel like there is something very like mystical about you right now, where it's like something that is very important to you, something that you feel a deep tie to, could be something that other people don't even know that you do. So it's like, they could have a vague idea of like the area in which you operate in, or what it is that you are interested in, or something like that. But I feel like they have no idea the level of, like, I don't know, mastery that you have in it, or again, that the way that you are planning to make this thing, this passion project, or this interest of yours, this hobby, into something that like has the prevalent force to be, or this prevalent energy to be like the main source of income for you, or to be something that you leave as a legacy, or to be something that you end up being known for widely, right? I don't know. Anyway, that is what I was feeling here with this card intuitively. So if you are still kind of not fully sold on this pile being yours, then stay tuned for this oracle card part, because we're going to look at what it is that you're currently dealing with, and hopefully you will be able to recognize yourself much more easily in this. Wow. Okay. Well, we have the crown coming out first. Okay, yeah, we have full moon. We have first breath, beginner's mind. I swear to God, I haven't seen these cards. I prepared these cards intuitively and like blindly, so I don't know what they are until I reveal them with you here for the first time. So it's as exciting for me. We also have the 11th house, and we have the mirror. Oh my goodness. So yeah, pile number 3, I do feel like for the majority of you watching, this doesn't seem to have too much to do with like your relationships or with your family life or something like that. Even though for some of you, you could be trying to launch a family business, or, you know, it could end up going in that direction in the future. But I feel like mostly this seems to be talking about some sort of personal project to you. And starting off with the 2 cards here, because they feel very similar in energy to me. And I was chuckling when I saw these 2 cards, because these 2 cards are pretty much as like public and as on display as you can get. So it seems to me that you are clearly focused on, first of all, like elevating your life somehow, taking it to the next level, and bringing about something that would make you like either rise up in like society, or rise up in your standard of living. That definitely has a component in this, whatever it is that you are doing. But I also feel like it's much more deep than that. It doesn't seem to be something that you are doing out of like a purely materialistic aspect, even though clearly that could play a role. It's something that you know is going to either like have value and bring more value to you with this crown, but it also seems to be something that like has the potential to make you more known, or raise your reputation in some way, or raise your authority, make you more of an authority figure, or like a leading voice in the arena, or in the field of whatever it is that you are trying to do. So it feels like you are doing something that is going to make you somehow more noticed by people, with this full moon especially, right? The full moon is like when the whole of the moon is being illuminated, or when you can see its entirety. And so again, I'm just feeling like this sense of being renowned, or being seen very publicly, standing in front of people, or having some sort of a platform where other people can kind of like listen to you, or where they can see what it is that you are doing. And yeah, it just seems like that is the majority, or the focus of what it is that you are trying to do here. But the thing is that it's interesting that we have this beginner's mind, because it's kind of confirming to me that whatever this thing is that you are thinking of launching or thinking of doing is something that is like something that you are like learning about still, or something that you are getting better at still, or something that is just in a very like new level. And I mean, it doesn't have to be something that you haven't done at all. It feels like, as I said, you could have already started with this. So people may have an idea, or some people may have an idea that that's what it is that you do. But, or you may have some sort of following already. But I feel like you are almost like preparing for some sort of a big like upgrade or big transformation or rebranding or expansion or something like that. Because it feels like you are thinking of ways. That's where the novelty comes in. You are thinking of ways to make this a bigger presence in your life, or to make it more of a, like make it a bigger scale thing or bigger scale event or something like that. So yeah, clearly you are revamping an aspect of it somehow. For those of you who have already begun doing this thing, or who are already like in the middle of it, but yeah, maybe like the way that you are working on improving it is something that you haven't shared yet. And now we also have this 11th house and this mirror. And again, I want to use these cards together because, first of all, with the 11th house, which talks about your friends, your networks, the groups, the communities, the organizations that you belong to, that could be significant, right? So again, it could be a very specific area or community that you are operating in, or that you are wanting to become more of an authority in. But the 11th house is also your wishes, your dreams. What is the ultimate thing that you want to achieve in your life? And so this could be this bigger, like this bigger purpose or this bigger dream vision that you have for yourself, and how whatever it is that you are thinking of doing can potentially take you to a version of your dream life, or take you to this bigger arena somehow. I don't know why I keep feeling like you are expanding to, like you are expanding, or you are growing, or you are trying to level something up and like join the big leagues, I want to say, or yeah, join the big leagues. That's interesting. But I also feel with this mirror card here that it is very much talking about how you are being seen, or how you are being perceived. And especially with the 11th house, again, we have this notion of like, the people who know you, they may have a different idea of who you are, or they may not be aware of this aspect of you, even though this aspect seems to be so prevalent and so like personally significant to you. But I feel like as a result of you going through this transformation, or working on doing this like big reveal or this big upgrade or whatever, it could be something that like they end up finding out about, but I feel like it's only going to happen after you have reached this level of like authority, or I can't think of the word that I want to say. There is a specific word, you know, when you are like someone who has a very influential voice. I can't think of the word, but anyway, it feels like you are going to, like that aspect of you is going to be revealed after that thing that you do ends up becoming more public or more widely known, or you are going to become more widely known for this thing that you have been keeping kind of a secret. Yeah, that is kind of all I am feeling here, pile number 3. So hopefully this made sense. Hopefully this was all clear to you, and it made it easier for you to recognize yourself in this reading. So if this is your pile, then definitely stay tuned, because now we're getting to the most exciting part. We're going to look at the next 6 months and what those have in store for you. So we're going to start off with the tea leaf oracle cards to get the most significant themes and keywords for this next 6-month period for you. Okay, so we got quite a few cards, and this one was here too, and these 2 cards came out together. I hope I didn't mess anything up, but you know. Anyway, pile number 3, clearly this next 6-month period is going to be very much focused on, again, what it is that you do, on your sort of material aspect of life, on your finances, and just your overall like success. So very exciting stuff, but let's get through the cards, or let's go through the cards one by one. So we have this wealth card coming out, and clearly this can talk about very literally you coming into some more money, you being I don't know, receiving some sort of bonus or creating more wealth in your life, creating a new revenue or stream of revenue for yourself. It seems like you are increasing your wealth in some sense, like in a very financially, materially, like literal sense. But I also feel like this wealth could just talk about abundance in general, where you, within the next 6 months, it feels like you are maybe feeling a bit more secure, feeling a bit more like safe, or like you are protected, like you don't really have anything to worry about. And also it just seems like you are not lacking anything. Like you have enough materially speaking, but then I feel like you also have enough when it comes to like attention and your relationships and the people around you, and just feeling like abundant all over, because it's coming out as this like bigger theme. So I really love seeing that for you, pile number 3. And also we have this karma card. You will reap what you have sown. Now, because this is being flanked by these 2 cards, which are very positive, the other card being celebration, fun, and enjoyment, like this, right? Because of that, I feel like this karma is very positive in nature. Like something that, again, it seems like all of this hard work that you are doing right now and that you have been doing, it's going to be building up to some sort of a positive reward. So I feel like, especially if you have been waiting for things to like really blow up or to really go to the next level, you are going to see that manifest within the next 6 months. Now, again, we have this tankard with celebration, fun, and enjoyment. So clearly there is going to be something to celebrate. And I feel like it's going to be a very significant or very memorable milestone, possibly many, that you experience within the next 6 months, where you can kind of celebrate how far you have come and how you are starting to see the sort of the fruits of your labor come about. And also I feel like because of this level of like freedom, or more of a cushion, a financial cushion that I feel like is going to be coming in for you, or that you are going to experience in the next 6 months, you may have more like opportunities to actually like spend some of that money, or to put some money aside for like more lighthearted, more entertainment focused and just social and lively events. So you could enjoy yourself more and enjoy everything that you have worked so hard for. And maybe also some of you are going to some sort of like concert or some sort of like cultural event within the next 6 months, some sort of festival, something that you have been either like already looking forward to, or maybe it's going to be something that you are like invited to, or something that like comes up kind of spontaneously, something that you end up doing within the next 6 months. But it just feels like you could be really like turning up the social calendar, as well as some of these things start taking off for you. Now, we also have this exciting event, and I don't know why, but I felt like some of you, pile number 3, could be like being like acknowledged or recognized, or there could be something like this exciting event could have to do with someone like really praising you, or your work being like your work taking off in a very significant way, or very meaningful way. It just feels like you are getting recognized, or like someone is going to praise what it is that you do, or like share the word or something like that. I don't know. That's more of a specific message possibly. But just in general, it seems like clearly there is going to be an exciting event that is going to take place. Either there is, again, some sort of like literal event that you go to, or it could be just something exciting that happens, something that really like lights you up and makes you feel excited and makes you feel all like warm and fuzzy on the inside. And again, I do feel like it has to do something with your work or with your sort of achievements, because of this AND card, which says work, achievement, and success. So clearly, again, the thing that you are working on here, the thing that you have been preparing for and that you have been keeping hush hush, it seems to be something that takes you to some significant like rewards or achievement. So, I mean, you have so many cards of like positive experiences and seeing the fruits of your labor and experiencing success and things like that. But I just also feel like you may see your work like truly impact other people, or have like a bigger impact in general. And so that's what I feel like this is talking about. But also, like, if you, let's say that this is just some sort of like side business that you are trying to launch or something like that. Maybe this work achievement success is also talking about you receiving some sort of merits at work. If you have a day job as well or something like that, a 9 to 5, then maybe you also experience something positive in that regard too. Maybe you get a raise or a promotion or something like that. And finally, we are ending with 2 very interesting cards. So we have Lobster, Financial Pinch, and we have Camel with Persevere, and you will overcome problems. So some of you, I feel like this is clearly indicating that some of you could be going a bit over the top with this, like spending and living the good life and just like enjoying yourself, right? So some of you could be in danger of going through that financial windfall, going through that abundance a bit too quickly. So just be mindful of that, right? But because Camel came out straight with this card, it feels like you are going to be coming out of that situation quite easily, or it's not going to be something that like is like this devastating or very difficult thing. It just seems to be that, you know, maybe you find yourself in a bit of a tight spot, or where you feel like you have to, what's the expression, like draw in the purse strings or something, tighten the purse strings. Is that the expression? You know, where you kind of have to live more within your means, or where you have to make do with a bit of a smaller budget, or just budget in general, you know, how much you spend on things and how much free money you have to just do whatever you want with it. So yeah, and that could be happening at the end of that six month period, right? So, you know, maybe there is a bit of a drop in that sense. But again, with this Camel, I feel like it's nothing really serious. And yeah, I feel like it's easily overcome if you just like manage your finances a bit differently, or if you budget things a bit differently. But also this is more of a specific message possibly, but I kind of feel like for some of you, this could indicate that there is going to be someone who like ends up being in your debt, or someone who isn't going to, like, is like a client or someone, or maybe even like the company that you work for, maybe they like don't pay you like right away, or they can't pay their bills to you, or like, let's say if you are, you know, if you have clients and if you are sending out bills to them for the services that you have done for the provided for them, then it feels like there could be a situation where someone doesn't pay you straight away, or where someone ends up being, as I said, in your debt, or maybe like again your paycheck doesn't arrive on the day that it's supposed to. Maybe there is a bit of a glitch in the system, or you know, some sort of financial error or whatever, and you kind of have to like make do with less than you thought that you were going to have by that time. So you just kind of have to like play some things around, or maybe dip into your savings, or maybe you know, work around the situation in a different way so that you could get your own bills paid, right? But yeah, I feel like it's going to arrive. I feel like you're going to get your money, but it just may be with a bit of a delay, and it's like something that you weren't really expecting. So it puts you in a bit of a tight spot. But anyway, as I said, that feels more of a specific message. And in any case, it doesn't seem to be that serious anyway. So yeah, as you could see, very heavily focused on achievement and wealth and abundance and money and success and all of that. So very interesting 6-month period that you are going into, pile number 3. So I don't know what it is that you are doing, but it seems to be something that is truly like massive. But anyway, let's get into the tarot cards and see if we can get some more details. So let's start off with looking at the challenges that you should be aware of, or any sort of obstacles or challenges that you are going to be facing potentially. Okay, I almost chuckled to myself, like I just couldn't believe when the 5 of Coins came out, because like that is the epitome of a financial pinch. But anyway, let's actually get through the cards. So we have the 5 of Coins, we have the 9 of Cups, and the Judgment card that came out, with the 3 of Swords being in reverse as the underlying energy. And I'm just going to point out some of the zodiac signs in case you resonate with them yourself or you recognize them around you. So we have, most significantly with Judgment, we have Pluto coming through. So that would be Scorpionic energy. We also have, with the 9 of Cups, we have some Pisces energy coming through. With the 5 of Pentacles, we have Taurus. And with the 3 of Swords, we have Libra. So yeah, I'm just pointing out the signs, but the Scorpio is coming through the strongest here. So yeah, pile number 3. Looking at these cards, it definitely feels like the most significant challenge that you could be faced with is going a bit overboard with your spending and with indulgences. Because I feel like I don't really have to talk too much about this 5 of Coins, because it is literally the same message that we got with the Lobster card, with this financial pinch, that you could face a period of time where you where you maybe find yourself in a bit of a tight spot materially speaking, or where you have run out of funds a bit too quickly. And because we also have the 9 of Cups and a Judgment that came out together, clearly this is talking about, especially with the 9 of Cups, clearly this is talking about you possibly enjoying yourself a bit too much, or going a bit overboard with just, having fun and allowing yourself any sort of whims, or maybe also doing certain like emotional purchases, or what's it called, impulse shopping, or like that type of thing. But with Judgment, it feels like it's almost like you are potentially coming into more money than you have had. Or maybe you just, if it's not something that you have never had, it just feels like it could be more money than you have had in a long time. And so it may be easier for you to go a bit overboard with that, right? But I mean, it's only human. It makes sense that when you get a bit of a bonus or something that you can spend and allow yourself some more luxuries, then obviously it's something that is very hard to resist. So I'm right there with you, pile number 3. I absolutely get it. But I just feel like, because we're looking at the challenges, that it could be something that you're going to possibly have a hard time reining in, or again, looking at the situation in a very rational or clear way, especially with the Judgment card here, where, you may feel like you need to, as I said, kind of put the reins on the situation, or look at this behavior, or look at what it is that you are doing with a very critical eye, and make some necessary changes or adjustments, right? That's what this Judgment card is saying. And it could be something that, again, because we have the 3 of Swords that is coming out in reverse at the bottom of the deck here. I'm going to show you the illustration upright. It could be something that is stemming from something that you could be trying to compensate for, or something that maybe possibly in the past has been a source of disappointment for you, or where you have maybe had to endure very difficult times. And so it could be that the reason why you feel called to splurge a bit more, or to live it up a bit more, allow yourself to have more of these nice things. But yeah, it just seems like with the 3 of Swords in reverse, it just seems like there is something that you are trying to work your way through by these indulgences, or by allowing yourself to just live freely, And again, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's not like a bad thing. And again, I don't feel like it's an overly serious situation that you are going to get tangled up in, but it just feels like Spirit is just kind of giving you a bit of a heads up, so that you could be aware of it. And maybe as a result of knowing this information beforehand, you can already make certain adjustments, or keep an eye on your spending, so that you wouldn't end up in that financial pinch, right? So you have so much power over your own life as well. And you know, we shouldn't forget about that aspect. But anyway, let's look at the positive stuff. Let's look at the positive surprises that you can expect within the next 6 months. Okay, sorry. I got another message with the previous section, so I can't speak. I need to give that message before we move on. So for some of you, it definitely seems to be talking, this Five of Pentacles seems to be talking more about like an emotional lack rather than a financial one. So for some of you, it could be that the challenge that you are facing is that maybe there are certain people around you who don't necessarily understand this thing that you are doing, or they may not support it, or they may not see it for what it is. And so you could be experiencing, especially with that Three of Swords in reverse, you could be experiencing a certain like disappointment regarding like how other people are reacting, or especially with this Judgment, right? As you reveal something, or as you make something more widely known, it could be that you don't really receive the sort of reaction that you were hoping for. So and it just could be that you maybe feel a bit, I don't know, like the people you thought were going to be really happy for you maybe aren't that happy for you, or something like that. Yeah, so it just feels like you could be a bit disappointed in some people's reactions. But I don't know, as I said, it feels more of a specific message, so I'm just gonna let it be, and maybe it resonates for someone out there. But yeah, anyway, sorry, let's keep going. Okay, wow. Yeah, so you got the Two of Wands and the Queen of Cups, with the Lovers coming out as the underlying energy here. So we have heavy Cancer coming through with the Queen of Cups, but all the other water signs could be significant too. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have Gemini with the Lovers. And with the Two of Wands, Aries could also be significant. So I kind of feel like this arena that you are establishing in, or establishing yourself in, I should say, it feels like there could be a very warm welcome for you with this Two of Wands and the Queen of Cups. It feels like you could really like end up meeting truly, I almost want to say like your soul family members. Because of this Queen of Cups, it just feels like it's so nurturing and so warm and so accepting and loving. And with the Two of Wands, it's clearly like this venturing forward, or this broadening your path, or looking towards something new. So that seems to be talking about this expansion that you are doing. And with the Queen of Cups, it just feels like, first of all, it feels like this is the energy that you are going to be receiving from the people who are in that area as well, and who are going to really appreciate what it is that you do. But I also feel like you yourself are going to feel very much at home in that space, or find some sort of level of emotional nourishment or emotional fulfillment from what it is that you do. So I feel like, as I said, it's kind of making me think back to this wealth card, that it's not just about like the material or the financial wealth or the increase in that aspect, but it also seems to talk about like feeling abundance in general, right? Feeling seen, feeling appreciated, feeling heard, and just feeling like you are exactly where you are meant to be and doing the right thing. And so, yeah, it just feels like there is going to be so much emotional fulfillment that you are going to experience as a result of doing this thing, or launching this thing. And I mean, even with the underlying energy with this Lovers card here, it's clear that, first of all, again, you're going to be seen and you're going to be recognized and appreciated for what it is that you do by the people in that community. But I also feel like it seems like you're going to be deepening this passion, or deepening this connection to what it is that you do. So it's almost going to be like an even more significant thing to you. And it seems to be something, again, like it's this commitment that you are taking on, right? Because that's what the Lovers card is, essentially. It is committing to someone or something, and choosing that thing over and over and over again, instead of everything else that is available. So, you know, especially if we were talking about like some people possibly not really seeing you, or not really seeing what it is that you do, and maybe reacting a bit negatively to it, right? With this previous section, I feel like those are the people who kind of have a very different perception of you, or who know like the old you, or the how should I say, like the you that you have presented most publicly. And so as you like open up in a more authentic way or reveal your true nature, there could be certain people who either like decide that you are not the right person for them, or who may end up leaving or something like that. So your social, like there could be certain changes in your social group, I feel like, for some of you, not for all of you, right? But I feel like, you know, even if these changes occur, I don't feel like they are very like close friends to you or something like that. They seem to me more so like acquaintances, or just people that you know and that used to know you, or, you know, that knew you from like way back when. Yeah, it seems to be something more so around like acquaintances, or just people from the past, your old schoolmates, or your old, I don't know, workmates, or something like that. So I don't feel like you're actually going to be that sad to see them go. It kind of feels like they are pretty insignificant, I have to say, even though it sounds a bit bad. But they seem to be pretty insignificant in the grander scheme of things. And as some of these people are acting in a way that may be a bit disappointing to you, or it may be disheartening or something, I feel like the emergence of the people who see the real you, who see the authentic you, and who vibe with that, I feel like that is going to compensate for whatever happens in this challenging part here. Hopefully all of that made sense, but I'm sorry. This was a bit of a possible rant from me. So anyway, let's move on. So let's look at the most important advice that Spirit has for you, for your highest good, for this next 6-month period. So let's see what they have to say. Wow. Okay. So you got 3 cards. Okay, the underlying energy is the Page of Coins, and we have the 2 of Swords, we have the Magician, and we have the Strength card. Yeah, so many like repeating cards coming out in the piles. So I don't know, maybe it's more of a universal energy as well that Spirit is trying to bring about. But anyway, you have, so the 2 of Swords is more air sign energy, specifically Libra. We have the Magician, which is more Gemini and also Virgo. With Strength, we have Leo, and with the Page of Coins, we just have earth sign energy, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, so I really feel like a very straightforward message here with these 3 cards. So I feel like, especially with the 2 of Swords, if you find yourself losing a bit of confidence at any given time during this next 6-month period, if you feel yourself wavering or starting to doubt whether you are doing the right thing, or whether you should go ahead and do something, or launch something, or reveal something, or whatever, if you feel yourself getting in doubt, then with this Magician and Strength cards, it's clear that Spirit is urging you to like go ahead and do this thing anyway. Because with the Magician, it feels like you are very much on the right path. You are manifesting what you are supposed to be manifesting. You are using the skills that you were given by the divine for a specific person. For a specific person, I just wanted to say, I don't know why that is, but for a specific purpose. Although maybe for some of you, you are doing something that has a very specific like meaning for a specific person as well. But anyway, yeah, it just feels like you are supposed to be using these skills and these gifts that you have, and bringing them about in like a very material sense. So again, you know, 2 major arcana cards, this is spiritual, this is divine energy. And with Strength here too, like just further confirmation to push through the fear, to push through the doubt, and to find the resolve, to find this fire within you to keep going, and to just take the action anyway. So especially with the Magician, I just feel like this is saying that just do what needs to be done, even if you are afraid, even if you feel doubt, even if you start questioning yourself. it seems like whatever this thing is that you are doing, especially with the Page of Pentacles, that it is something worth doing. It is something worth beginning, because again, we had this beginner's mind energy here too, and the Page of Pentacles is very much talking about this beginner's energy, right? Like being okay with not really knowing how exactly things are going to work out, but just going ahead, starting this thing anyway, or planting the seed, you know, doing whatever you can to make this thing a real tangible thing, and to like really share it, what it is that you feel this level of passion or excitement towards, or this thing that is so personally meaningful and valuable to you. Because again, I feel like there is a specific reason why you were given these skills, why you were given these ideas and everything that you have to share. There's a specific reason for that. So don't get disheartened, especially if you feel like people are not really seeing you, or people are not understanding where you're coming from. If they are disappointed in you being different from what they had in mind for you, or what they had sort of envisioned you as, or whatever, like whatever sort of bullshit other people could be portraying or projecting on you, it doesn't matter, okay? So you just keep doing you. But I want to close the reading out with a last oracle card message, and this is going to be a loving support or a loving supportive message from Spirit for you through to close this whole reading out. So let's see what they have. Whoa. Okay, yeah. I'm actually not surprised to see this one. This card also came out in another pile, but I feel like this is so relevant to this pile as well. It says, the wishing tree, my wishes grow big like a tree. Yeah, so again, I'm feeling this level of success. I'm feeling this level of things taking off and morphing into like this huge, powerful thing that maybe even starts to kind of like have a life of its own, or it may take off and start like becoming bigger than you. But it just feels like whatever this thing is that you are wishing for, whatever this thing is that means so much to you, it is going to become like this bigger force in your life, or this bigger presence in your life, and it's going to like grow in significance. And yeah, I feel like it has such an immense power to be like a source of fulfillment for you. And I feel like everything that you are thinking of achieving, you can actually achieve even more. Like this thing can end up being even more like big scale than you think right now. Okay, and the underlying energy is send a letter to the universe. The world loves me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, such a perfect message to end the reading with, pile number 3, because it just feels like, again, what this thing is that you are doing is something that is going to talk to so many people on a bigger scale, and it's something that the world needs to hear. It's almost something that can truly alter the energy or the energetic vibration of the collective subconscious or something like that, or the collective psyche, you know? So I feel like the world loves me is, first of all, like just the universe being on your side and supporting you in this. But I also feel like, again, the people with the Queen of Cups here, right? The people who are in the same sort of vibration as you, and who are interested in the same area, or who are somehow tied to this thing that you are doing, or this this space. I feel like they are going to love you, and they are going to appreciate you so much. And I feel like you're going to see that appreciation in some way, shape or form within the next 6 months as well, with all of these amazing cards of success and celebration, right? So anyway, I'm going to leave it here, pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching this reading. I hope that it was useful, insightful, or at the very least entertaining for you to watch. And yeah, let's see. Ooh, leave me a little crown emoji in the comment section if you are still here, if you are still watching this reading, if you have made it all the way through to this point. I always love seeing in the comment section who are the true soul tribe members of my little channel. And yeah, if that's you, then let me know in the comment section so I can see you, and it just warms my heart every single time. So thank you so much for being here. And as always, I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. But in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, pile number 3, and I am wishing you all the best and the most success and happiness and fulfillment for the next 6 months as is possible. Take care. Bye-bye.